Thank you for joining CU Bands and Fans podcast. Our podcast is brought to you by Homegrown KIO. Homegrown KIO is on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. It is a stellar show featuring the great songs that have come from bands originating in Champaign-Urbana. Listen at 107.9 on your FM dial, at 1079wkio.com, or ask Alexa to play WKIO. Hello, welcome to CU Bands and Fans podcast, where musicians tell their story. And it's me and my co-host, Zach Widdop with CU Bands and Fans. Hi, Zach.
Hi.
And our guest is Joe Asselin, and this is part 2 with Joe. We had a podcast with him earlier in the year, and we told him once he gets moved to Nashville and he releases his recent album, which is the Root Beer Sessions, which you released in February 2024. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've been listening to that and I just absolutely love it. There are 9 songs on this, including one demo.
Yep.
And my favorite song that I picked up so far that like I really, really, really favor is Sometimes You.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very swanky and, kind of a little more dramatic than the other ones. I feel that way anyway. I like it as smooth as I like it a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So let's talk about Root Beer Sessions. First of all, how did you get the name Root Beer Sessions? What's that about?
Well, I like root beer. And so when we were recording at Blackbird, I brought, like fancy root beer, like Virgil's or Stewart's. I think it was Virgil's. And so, of course, I was asking everybody if they wanted a root beer, and they were like, hey, man, this is like the root beer session. So I was like, hey, that's their name. Perfect. Cool. So that's kind of how that came about.
I love how that stuff happens. So you have 9 songs on this.
Yes.
That's quite a bit. How long did it take you to write the song? You wrote them, right?
Yeah, they're all mine. Some of them I had written, and some of them is just to take. One of them is just a take off of a Mystery Train and Number 9. Like just like there was what's his name? Dale Hawkins did this song called Number 9, which is a great like train song. And then of course Mystery Train is, everybody knows that song, but I just kind of threw my own twist on that. Bad Card Gambler, I think I wrote that a few years back. Sometimes You Win, I've been playing that one out for a long time. Parking Spots, that one was like a Bob Seger thing, but it turned into a kind of JJ Cale and recorded it down there. So that was a cool, like, interesting, different way how the song shaped itself, because I didn't really write it that way, but it worked out perfect, Yeah, what was the other ones? Boogie, that one was just kind of threw it in there because I was just kind of a jam. I kind of made that one up on the spot.
Bad Card Gambler. Did you
Yeah.
already mention John Wayne?
John Wayne, I had been playing that one out for a while too. Yeah. That was cool to get that one put out there. What else was on there? Put You in the Grave. I wrote that one years ago. That's probably 2008, maybe 2009. Yeah.
I was just listening to that one when we signed on. I was like,
cool.
I want to hear this because titles always grab me. So I'm like, Put You in what is that one about? So I'll play. That's how I play it. I don't just play it like in order. I'm just like, Sometimes You Win. What's that one? What's that mean? I go right to the meaning. But what's DRS?
Okay, so DRS is just Dave Rowe and Josh Hunt. DRS is, I call it the Dave Rowe special. And so when we're mixing down the songs, Boogie, we're mixing Boogie, and they took me out just to hear the bass and the drums, and I was like, man, that is cool. So I was like, can we just release that as a song? So I reached out to Dave at the time, and he was all for it. it was either that one or Put You in the Grave, because Put You in the Grave, they had like this bass solo and drum solo in the middle, which is really dope. But the boogie one is super cool because it stays on the one, and it's all stand up bass, and it's just bass and
Wow.
drums. That's it. They just because they just muted me, It was all recorded live, but just because it came about from mixing.
And then,
So is it? What's that?
so you kept it that way?
Yeah, so I wanted to release it just as that song. Before Dave passed, I had asked him if it would be cool, and he was all for it. And so it was just a good, just timing needed to be done. I wish I had recorded it when he was around, but or released it when he was around. But yeah, that's what DRS is just to kind of hear what goes on in the studio with these musicians. That some people just hear a song, but they don't think about the bass or the drums or the rhythm. They don't really they hear the song in a whole, but it's kind of cool to show just that basis of it. That makes
That is
sense.
cool. I'm gonna play that for a second. Um,
That's all good.
so freaking cool, Joe. I love that. That's
Thanks.
awesome. Uh, so you released this in February. Where was it recorded? At Blackbird?
Yeah, Blackbird Studios down in Nashville. It was recorded in July of 2022. So it was recorded a couple years back. And so all last year I just released singles, which are all the singles are out there individually, but I just wanted to release it all as one album after all the singles were put out. That's why, it's in February now that I released it.
Okay. Because you did, let me see. That Mystery Train, that starts off strong harmonica. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
you. The harmonica and the guitar and all of that is you, right? Remarkable.
Thank you.
I mean, that is some talent. You can hear it throughout like most of these songs. That harmonica and that guitar is just, I'm just like, it's amazing. It really
Thank
is.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Truly.
So people can get this on Spotify, and YouTube, correct?
Yeah, iTunes, they can buy it on iTunes, on Amazon, they can buy it. Um, and stream it, of course, on all those other platforms and such. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have the links, of course, to that. So you have since we did the first podcast with you, which was earlier this year, you have since moved to Nashville.
The Nashville area. So we're about an hour to the west of Nashville. Nashville's
At
pretty expensive to live in. The cost of homes and such.
least you're
Um,
close.
yeah, no, it's a great spot. We're super super lucky to find the area, and it's a drive-in and such. Um, and I set up a small little home recording studio down there, so I can, if somebody needs some like harmonica or guitar, I can record it at my house and fly it to them, type of setup. So that's kind of been my direction, right now, and then of course trying to make the full transition's been kind of just, you know, there's a lot. It's hard to move after being in a place for over 20 years. So
Yeah. You came from Maine to Champaign and then
yeah,
now listening to near Nashville or in Nashville. And that is a lot. It is a lot. But
yeah, you garner up a lot of stuff over 20 years. Like Mindy
yeah,
and I, we built the same house here now for 20. So it's a process, but we're getting there. Yeah, we're
and
getting
you
there.
have that great property with that lake that, you've had live music out at and all of that. So you got all that to consider and to, figure out what you're gonna do with that. But um, what prompted you to make this move?
Well, my in-laws, Mindy's mom, actually lives about 15 minutes away from us, and so we were considering going down there, you know, at some time, but This past year, it just was running the lawn care business and doing the landscaping, and it wasn't an easy year. It was a very hard year, you know. So and the time went way too fast, and then we started seeing the time just goes too fast, and we have to live right. So we're either okay, we can keep doing what we're doing and hate it, or sell everything and go start over, you know, and be close to family down there. So like, let's just jump off the ledge and do it. You know, why not? You know, the business was good to us, but it was just time. You know, really, it just the time was right.
Running a seasonal business, well, I don't know if you did like snow removal or any of that, but running a seasonal business is so harsh. You found a home,
Yep. Mhm.
and you got moved. You decided during this time to go full-time musician.
Yep.
Yep. And what is that? I mean, that's kind of a little scary, but I believe that you're in the right place for that. And I mean, because when you announced that on Facebook that you were going to go full-time musician, you could tell you were just like you were hitting it. I mean, you were gig, 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 gig. You were booking as much as you could.
Hmm.
What's it like in Nashville to do that?
Well, I haven't even started yet down there, right? Because I don't want to start anything until I get settled. You know, so it's gonna, and then I can make commitments at that point. Um, it's it's kind of interesting because you know we could have stayed here. Like you know, there's so many opportunities that around here that I've performed at, played at, gig wise. I mean, that list goes on and on and on.
You know
But
everybody.
yeah, and it's super cool. It's been great. It's been a blessing. I've met a lot of great people. I think I made a pretty good name, you know, and I think I've inspired some people and done that. Um, so the concept of going down there and just being full time, why not, right? You know, it's
Yeah.
like I'm I'm 46 years old. I don't think I'm going to get signed by Sony or be on the road or get hooked up or anything like that. But you know, if I can influence, you know, other people to be inspired or offer my assistance in what I do or get some gigs and play music as much as I can and you know locally or whatever have you and you know make a living at it for the most part. It ain't easy making a living at it, but um, you know you got to you got to go for it at some point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Before you're too eh, well, I hate to say too old, but
No, it's a good way to put it. Before you're too old, because I tell you what, you know, I'm not the 25-year-old spirit that I used to be. You know, I'm
right.
46, so like garnering up even a 35-year-old spirit it's tough. You know, it's not easy. And then staying focused on something that you have, believe me, a lot of doubt about. You know, however, you know, you still got to believe in yourself, even though you got doubt. You know, so
Yeah.
battling that curse, it, it's yeah. You can get too old, like, but maybe the wisdom comes in play, and you just don't do the same mistakes you made before, if you made any. You know, I don't think there's. I think any mistakes made bring you to where you're at, so you're supposed to make them. So that's where you're at. So move
Yeah.
on. You know. Um, anyhow, it's kind of a ramble in it. So
Well, but you are you're not a like subpar musician. So you are really, really talented. I mean, I know you know that, but I don't know if you know that. Like you are so talented on the harmonica. It's mind-blowing. It's really a pleasure to listen to.
thank you.
Uh, and I think that I think I can't wait until you start getting into that, you know, music atmosphere in Nashville or surrounding Nashville. Um and then just start kind of like networking and see where that takes you. That's going to be so interesting, I think.
You know, last time I did that was when I was 22 years old and I just moved to Illinois. You know, like so I didn't know nobody, so I'd go hit open mics or um, you know, blues creation for the harmonica challenge, try to win $50. You know, um, so going back to that person, it's almost what it's the same thing, right? I'm going to a place that I know a few people in Nashville and some good connections and such, and I'm sure there's some good doors that can, you know, give me opportunity, but I don't know until that happens. But until then, it's still starting over. It's kind
Yeah.
of weird, in a way.
Yeah.
But it's
I'm sure.
cool, exciting
I'm,
and cool.
yeah. I'm sure it's, it's scary, but it's exciting.
Hmm.
I think I have just high respect, especially, I mean, you've got Mindy's support. That's
Yeah.
huge. But
Mhm.
being close to family is, I think, more crucial now than ever before.
I agree. And time goes too fast. It just goes way too fast, man. Like it's March. Like it's
Mid-March.
I would be starting my season right now, you know, getting all my clients ready or working or it's crazy. It's like that damn, it's split of a that's how fast it goes. So you gotta enjoy it. Sink or
Yeah,
swim.
I love that. Sink or swim. That's what it is. Sink or swim.
Yeah.
And if you start to sink, I'm sure you're going to figure out how to swim.
At some point you got to.
I see that you have your guitar on you. Well, first of all, before we get to that, do you uh you mentioned you've got a little studio in your home.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
I think that's a brilliant idea to be available to play harmonica or something on someone's recording. That's brilliant.
Oh, that's the ultimate goal, to try to get into the session world slowly and try to offer that ability, right? And start off slow, and you never know what happens. You can build a repertoire, and maybe that you can make a semi good living at doing such. If you can garner good, but there's a lot of great players, so I mean, there's the competition down there is ridiculous, and most of them all stay with each other anyhow. So if they're looking for anything, it would be something new, or something more innovative than what they're hearing now. Maybe I'm not saying I'm an innovator, but I definitely don't sound like everybody else. But I do have my own little style, that I try to influence, right? So that's kind of what I'll stick with, be me, do me, see where it
Yeah,
leads.
absolutely, because you're good at
Thank you. But the
it.
studio thing is cool. Um, you know, I got my degrees in 3D animation, and so I'm pretty, familiar with interfaces and such, and so it's kind of been neat working with this little program and just kind of figuring out the guts to it to make it work. And yeah, and then and it's great practice. You sit there and you record yourself and you record something over it that you listen back like, no, I like it better this way and this way and this way. So it's really great practice that way too. So
That's
it's
interesting.
beneficial. I think everybody should have one if you're gonna do it really. And I wish I started that a long time ago, but anyhow.
Oh, so when did you start it? Just now? Like just
Oh, a
the
few weeks ago. Yeah, a few weeks back.
wow. You are doing all kinds of new things. Everything's new.
Yeah, well, it's new but familiar, right? In a way. What's definitely new is the location. That's
Yeah.
that's new. You know, a lot of WalMarts and Dollar Generals. You kind of you're spoiled here in Champaign with everything being here. It's kind of like you realize how I've always realized how great of a city is, but it's at the same token, it's a lot better than most people think it is. As far as like having things available, right? You know, but
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. We need some positive things about champagne to kind of offset that negative stuff. Um, you're looking forward to, I mean, it's a lot of work, but you're looking forward to this new venture and meeting new people and of course you'll be back to see
yeah,
us.
yeah, absolutely. I'm coming back through town on. We'll have a show August 9th at Bargena, and then I'm playing a blues festival up in Joliet on the 10th, and then the 11th I'll be at Wayside in August. I need to make
Oh,
those.
yeah, you need to do that. Yeah, the 11th, what day is that? August.
That's a Sunday.
Okay, good. So you're doing Sunday Fun Day at Wayside?
Yep. With
Love
the
Sunday at
with the
Wayside.
city with the Bubble City Playboys, Ron Phelps and the Bubble City Playboys. I love those guys.
I think
Okay.
that's the same. I think that's the same day as our Blues Fest here.
Oh no, it's not. Are you kidding me?
I think it is.
Awesome.
Well,
Oops, language.
I'll have to go that way and then that way. Then down 45 to the Blues Fest.
Zach, I think I did that last year too. I think I had a show with the Land on the 11th. Was a songwriting round. No, it was like the
Oh
same
yeah.
day, and it was nothing like. I was like, son of a gun. Anyhow, sorry about that.
Oh,
Yeah, no problem.
that's all right. I heard that band is really tremendous. Bubble
Oh, it's
City.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you got Josh Walden, which is just a beast on bass. I mean, it's probably my opinion, the best bass player around. And you got Mark Kelson on fiddle, and he was with Charlie Pride for like 9 years, so that's super dope. And then of course you got Michael Pelican on sax, harmonica, and vocals, and he's just great. And right now they got Clayton Thompson, I think, playing guitar with them. So that's
Um,
and they're still doing Wednesday night gigs at Pippa's. So.
yeah.
Michael seems to be all over town these days. Wherever I go, I see him.
Who's that?
Michael Pelican.
Oh yeah, man, he's all over the place, and he's great. Yeah, I sat down with him a few weeks back, and he was showing me some harmonica tricks. Because country harmonica is totally different than blues harmonica. So I was like, I need some country harmonica like lessons. And Mike was great. He's an excellent player and a great guy.
That's awesome. And then Ron Phelps is on drums.
And
Right.
Ron's on drums, yeah, and he does vocals. And Ron can sing. He's got some great vocals. I'm happy he's singing a lot more. Yeah,
He does LaGrange once in a while. He does like the best.
I could
That-
see that.
He really
Yeah.
does.
He's a
Best-
showman. Yeah, and he does all the back work. He does the booking. He brings the PA. He's the hardest working man in that band. 100%.
Yeah, he was the same way with Ada. Just
Oh,
like
I
he,
see that.
yeah. He was. You always got to have one, at least one that's a go-getter like that.
Yeah, man, and it was a bummer to kind of like skip out of town during that, working with everybody. It was super cool because we're all working together. And then I'm like, well, I'm moving down to Tennessee. See you all later. And it was cool, like working with them, but it was kind of like, damn, what else could have gone to, sticking around and such, But it's all good. It's started a new like movement at Pippa's, so I'm stoked that Ron keeps going with it.
Yeah, they're doing that like every Wednesday night. Or
Yeah.
no, it's an early show. It's like 5 o'clock or something.
Yeah, 5 to 8. Mhm.
Yeah.
5 to 8. That's insane.
Yeah, it's awesome, right?
I love it. Yeah.
And tip well. That's what I always say. Tip the guys well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. 100%. And like as far as you're concerned with your new release and your other releases, actually, people buy that, download it, buy it, purchase. Don't just stream, purchase. And you know what, Joe, you should have merch.
Yeah, I need to focus on it because I have my parking spot shirt, which is they don't make parking spots big enough for my truck, the shirt. And I sold out like boom, like that. And I should have reordered them, but I've just been in transition and such. So I need like a website with like the merch and parking spot concept. But yeah, I agree. I'll get there.
I would totally buy a Joe Asselin t-shirt. Or
Cool.
or you know how you wear that like one hat?
Mhm.
You have a favorite hat that you wear, plus a bean. I mean, you wear the stocking caps too. So you need stocking caps, Joe Asselin, I mean, whatever.
Sure.
You just need to have some merch. I would buy it totally.
Cool. Well,
I bet you
I
could
need to
create really cool merch.
I just got to get on it and do it. I think. Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought about that. But anyway, yeah, people purchase merch from musicians and their songs. It helps them greatly.
Merch is the biggest. Yes.
Yeah,
Merch is the biggest of them all.
yeah, that's how you really make some, I mean, you get the money.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
spend it to get the merch or create it and all of that, but you get the money from it and it doesn't go to anybody else. And that's huge. And that's a great way to support local musicians and just, musicians in general. Um, so what else you got going on? I mean, you got a lot going on. Let's just say you do have a lot going on. Do you have anything that you're going to be releasing soon?
Yeah, actually, I got a whole. You see, I have 9 more songs. I think it's 9 songs. For this is called the suitcase suitcase sessions. But suitcase sessions. I'm trying to say that. Say that 10 times fast. So I'll be releasing those individually, probably starting sometime this summer, I think. It's a really not hard on the mix because it's just me live in the studio with my suitcase set, and I did a little overdubbing on a couple things. I played bass on it in a couple songs. So it's all just like me really in the studio. So that'll be starting to get those released here probably in the summertime.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you. Oh, I was thinking in my head, you know, I know he's got that one suitcase thing. 'Cause when I came out to take photos, I mean, you lugged that thing around. We got some photos with you with it. And I'm like, and then so I was like, be sure to ask him about that. And I didn't even have to. You just brought it up. Because I did wonder about that. I was like, I wonder what he uses that for and what's he do with that. And is it like explain that to me. I don't have any.
The suitcase set, or
Yeah.
a buddy of mine actually the suitcase is Mindy's grandfather's old suitcase from like the 30s, and it's like this really old school cool suitcase, right? And so I got it because well, she got it, of course, and then I was like, hey, can I make a drum kit out of it or something? She's like, yeah. So I reached out to a buddy of mine, that Lindsay, the Black Eyed Lilies, her friend Tony, and he took it and he made it into this cool like transferable suitcase set with drum set. So it has a small kick drum, probably maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe 14-inch kick drum. I mean, it's real small. It's not huge. And this little piccolo snare that attaches to its own little stand. And then I have a hi-hat, and I attach the hi-hat to the snare drum with this piece of wood, so I can play the snare and the hi-hat at the same time. And so it's this kind of like this one-man band thing. And then I'm blowing harmonica, so that's what the recording is that'll be released, will be all that type of stuff.
Isn't that crazy? Zach, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like it's blow my mind how you guys do all this stuff. I can't wait to hear that.
Thanks. It came out real cool. And I did a couple remakes of some songs. I redid Minimum Wage and Working Outside. I think those are the 2 I redid on this release, just from an older Blue Jeans release from the past.
So the working outside, that is my all-time favorite songs that
Oh,
you've done.
thanks.
That is my number 1 all-time favorite song that you've done. And you allowed me to use that song in a little documentary I'm doing on my brother, and it fits so perfectly. The words to that song, just it fits. And it's so I can't even explain it. That song just, and you told me that you were gonna redo it.
Yeah.
So I want to hear the redo because I'm like, how could you redo this? It's so perfect the way it is.
I also redid Food Line too, now that I thought of it. So I redid those 3. Well, Working Outside, when I first wrote it, it really was me. I mean, 100%. I mean, the song was 100% me anyhow. I'd be working sun up, sun down. I mean,
Oh,
every single word in that song is a reflection of what I was doing at the time, including, breaking my finger in half on a trailer and then going back to work, and cutting myself up and stitching them up and going back to work, so the whole song is me. So like the new version of it has a lot more attitude, so it's more blues oriented. I don't like how would I describe it? Like just like Johnny Lee Hooker style, in your face type of blues you feel, I guess. So that's how I rewrote that song. It just kind of fit, and it kind of came out as I was messing with that rhythm, and I started singing it. I was like, hey, this kind of works. And so yeah, that's why I revisited it. You know,
So it's a little more grittier because it's a
way
pretty.
more grittier. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, I can't. Well, as soon as you get that done, I want to hear it.
It's cool because it's all suitcase set, and the drums sound really dope on it. Like it's all live, you know, so everything's live on that. There's a few songs, pretty much almost all the songs were all live takes. There's maybe 2 or 3 that I overdubbed a few things on, but that was it.
See, and then I could see merch for that, you know.
Yeah, the
But
suitcase.
the suitcase series, you could like, you know, a little. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just seeing all of that. Like you know, the suitcase series merch. I mean, dang, yeah, you can have
Yeah,
a
you
lot of.
killed it on the photos too, so thank you for that.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I appreciate you having me do them.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate that so much. That was a lot of fun, and you're an awesome subject to photograph.
Thank you.
So easy. I mean, you were just so easy to work with. It's like this, man. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, we're done. But anyway, Joe. So we have a lot to look forward to coming from you here in the future. And I definitely, please, when you get that done, that working outside, when you get that redone, please send me so I
Sure.
can hear it. I
Yeah.
really want. And otherwise, this root beer sessions is just a fantastic EP. Do you have CDs of that?
No, not yet. Mm-mm.
Fantastic EP. We will post links, everyone, so that you can go and purchase the songs, and also be looking for merch from Joe coming soon as he gets settled and, you know, gets his feet back under him in Nashville. But thank you so much for coming back and doing a part 2 with us. And
Absolutely.
it looks like we're gonna have to do a part 3 once you get settled and you start to improve.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, I appreciate that 100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and we'll definitely see you. Well, okay, I'll see you August 11th. Apparently, be able to, but I will see you August 11th at Wayside Sunday
Awesome.
Fun.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Life is like a game of baseball. Sometimes you win, and sometimes you lose. Keep on throwing me curveballs, and hell, you may even strike out too. Sometimes you win, oh baby, sometimes you lose. Further on up the road we go, not trying to go broke. My feet planted down to them hardwood floors. Life keep on throwing me curveballs, and hell, I'm down to strike 2. Sometimes you win, oh I'm standing at the plate. I'm down to my last strike now, and all I do is sit here and wait. Well, pitcher man, please don't make me out.